Hey guys. So in the last video, we talked about how to give helpful feedback to your workshop buddies. And this one is kind of a supplement to that. It should be quite a bit shorter. And I'm just going to go through the procedure that I do when I'm reading an essay and what I'm looking for. And I'm not going to have an example for this because it's just going to be a little, just kind of technique thing. So again, we're reading it twice. And the first time we just read all the way through without getting distracted by taking notes. The first thing I try to do is summarize it and say, okay, what is this writer saying? Is it, if the prompt is, why are you transferring? That's right, one of the big basic ones. The writer might say, I grew up in a small town. School is my refuge from alcoholic parents. And this is a real essay that we'll look at. And then, I joined the military, learned some stuff from there, and now I want to go to school to do whatever with it, right? So just try to get that flow and be like, okay, this is what this writer is saying. Does it answer the prompt? And I say kind of because a really cool thing to do is answer the question that you wish you had been asked, or make the prompt ask the question that the way you want to answer it. And that's fine, but there should be some relevance. And we want to know what we learn about the writer. So I encourage you to tell stories. Not everyone will. People write essays whatever way expresses them. But we should be able to learn some things, right? Whether if it's about the service, and what service were they in? What did they do? How did they grow from that? Whatever it is. Just note, okay, what feel you get for the person, relevant to an academic setting probably. And this is just a general, does it flow, or does this theme seem to build upon itself versus being scattered and going back and forth? Now, on the second read, now, we've read it through, we have this general idea, and now we're going to be highlighting or underlining, or if it's a Google Doc, which it probably will be, we're using the comment function, the comment option, probably more than the correct option, where you can suggest changes, because again, you're not editing or rewriting, and I suggest you don't really worry about grammatical minutia in the first few drafts. And these are pretty straightforward. So what stood out to you, and this is really kind of, what did I like about this, right? This sentence is really meaningful, or this analogy or allegory really represents this military experience. Those are things the writer needs to know. Where do you want clarification? That's terminology, right? If an Air Force person is writing something and a Navy guy is reading it, they might not use the same terms, and it'll be worse for a civilian reading it. So the writer needs to know that. Ask yourself about transition, and this is a little different from flow in the way that we're looking at, okay, sentence, period, does the next one start in a way that has this continuity, and in a bigger way, the paragraphs. And this will make more sense when we go through an example. Note repetition, and that is, repetition is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it can build urgency and build emphasis, but if you're just kind of re-saying what you said a couple sentences ago or in the previous paragraph, it's a waste of words. You only get so many words. If you glaze over something, if you find yourself going oh shit, I'm already past the third paragraph and didn't really get anything, note that. You might not know why, just note it in a constructive way and let the writer figure it out. They need to know that though. And irrelevance is kind of, going with the same example. If the writer is saying, grew up in this small town, parents were alcoholic, went to school is my refuge, and I joined the military. And by the way, my parents had adopted a dog that was sick. That might be a really interesting thing for a separate essay, but might be disrupting the flow. So just make a note of that. It's not a bad thing. And it's just something useful for the writer to know. And once you've done that, kind of go back to your summary, go back to what you know about the writer, and see how these craft elements kind of inform your initial assessment. Okay, that's all I got for today. Just a really quick thing. From now on, we're going to start doing some deep reads of full-length essays, and I think that's where you're going to learn the most. See you soon.